My name is Noor. I'm French. I've been here for 19 years, soon to be 20, which would be over half of my life. She's posing for the camera. Looking through pictures, and I found a picture which is very, very, very interesting. I have been a Muslim for soon to be 18 years, inshallah. When I was 19, I came to Qatar. I actually never went back to France except for short visits. I am Maryam. I have one daughter whose name is Maryam. I have only one child. She is 15 years old. I am an employee working on a full-time job. I'm a college student, gone back to college about a year ago, trying to catch up on my education, which I couldn't complete as much as I wanted earlier in my life. And what else can I tell you? I'm the proud owner of 7 cats. I like it. She's pretty, very pretty, mashallah. We always have, we think, when we come from the West and we see how Muslims picture animals, you know, they only like animals when it's time to eat them. That's what we think. And I didn't find this. I found that many people love animals, and in Islam there is a place for animals, and there is a hadith of a woman who, a man I think, who gives water to a dog and goes to paradise for it. And there is the hadith of this woman who locked a cat into a cupboard and didn't allow it to feed itself, to go find food, or didn't feed it, and it died, and that she goes to hell for doing so. So obviously animals have an important part. So sometimes you wonder, have I done enough for humans? From a non-religious background. My mother is they of Christian background, but we never went to church, we never prayed, we were never talking about God. That wasn't a topic at home. So when I was about 14 years old, I'd say 14, 15 years old, I decided that I wanted to learn more about religion. I felt there is more to it than just being a nice person and eating the best food, drinking the best drink, wearing the best clothes, and do that again and again and again till you die, and then they put your body in the mud and bugs eat it. I actually went to my grandmother, who was a practicing Christian, and I told her, you know, I want to know more about religion, what do you think? She said, okay, well, you know, go to the public library. Like, let's talk about being French. That is you know, she didn't want to make a decision for me. She said, you know, in Paris we have lots of really, really nice libraries, so just go to the public library and go to the religion section and borrow a book on all the religions, read them and decide. I went to the religion section and I took a book on Buddhism, I took a book on Judaism, and I took a book on Christianism for sure. And then there was a book on Islam, and I can't remember very well, looking at it and saying, that one, I don't think so. I didn't even take it from the public library, subhanAllah. So I went home with those books, and the book on Buddhism, I started reading it, but I didn't understand anything. I really didn't understand what was the meaning of this religion where you prayed to a statue. I didn't get it. And then I kind of started the book on Judaism, where, you know, to become a Jewish. And it was very clear that you can't become a Jewish. You are a Jewish from your mother's womb. So when you're born from a Jewish mother, you're Jewish. So I wasn't born from a Jewish mother, I couldn't convert. So that kind of solved the problem of the Jewish conversion. And then I kind of read the book on Christianism, and that was like the decision which made sense. So I started going to church. When I came to Qatar, there is actually something physical which happened to me, which I don't put too many beliefs on it, but when it was on the 25th of July, 1993. So I remember stepping out from the plane. The first breath that I took from the Qatar Air out of the plane. I remember if something physical happened, I felt like I was, for the first time in my life, taking a full breath. Like, up to this point, I had been breathing only half of the capacity of my lungs. I felt something opened inside. I like to think that maybe it was the opening of my heart to Islam which was happening, and I really felt something physical. This wasn't just, it wasn't my imagination. I felt like, oh, I have been breathing only half of the capacity of my lungs up to now. Now I'm breathing the whole capacity. I started giving lessons to some Qatari girls from the Qatar University who had French language. And I remember one of them, especially her name was Maha. And for about 1 year, I gave her lessons at home. That she would politely excuse herself for a few minutes whenever we would study, and it was one of the prayer times. She would excuse herself very politely and just lay the carpet on the floor and start praying in front of me. And it was very natural. She wasn't trying to show me anything. She wasn't trying to, she wasn't even talking to me about it. She would just do it and come back to the lesson, and we would just continue. I felt very respected by her. She never addressed the issue of religion. She just said, okay, do you mind if I pray? And of course I wouldn't mind. And she would just pray, somewhere in the corner of the room, and she would respect me for just waiting there on the side. At the same time, she never told me when she was picking me up, you're going to be coming into a Qatari home, I want you to wear an abaya and a shela. She didn't mention this. She just accepted me for who I was, and that made me want to respect them more. I would pay extra attention to what I would wear when I would go to them, because I felt very respected. I would wear long skirts on my own. I remember telling her, well, could you please give me some books about Islam? And she arranged that. She arranged the translation of the Quran in French and a very small book which was the basic of Islam. I took my Shahada on May 12, 1994. Yes, 1994, 12th of May. And I remember this was a very, very special moment. I went to Al-Wakra, to someone's house who had studied in the States. He's Qatari. And I remember sitting in the majlis with his wife, of course, because he wouldn't sit alone with me, and his kids. He had 2 teenage daughters at the time. It was very new to me. I didn't know a word of Arabic. I remember sitting across the room and focusing on his face, on his mouth, to try and repeat what he was saying. As I finished, I turned around and I found that the teenage girls and the wife were crying. They were crying from happiness that someone had just become Muslim in their house. And I was really, really touched. From the French embassy.
They found out that you converted from
Yes, they found out that I became a Muslim from the French embassy. I'm not very proud of it, because I would rather have explained to them the beauty of Islam and what was happening in my heart, but I knew at the time it was impossible for them to understand, because they come from a country where the media is completely stereotyping the Muslims, and the Muslims themselves sometimes, a lot of times, picture Islam in the wrong way. So I didn't feel I wanted to share my conversion to Islam to my family straight away.
هو احنا الفقر اللي احنا فيه ايه اللي بسبب ترك الجهاد؟ مش كنا لو كل سنة عمالين ناخده مرة ولا 2 ولا 3 مش كان هيسلم الناس كثيرون في الارض؟ واللي يرفض هذه الدعوة ويحول بيننا وبين دعوة الناس مش بنقاتله وناخدوه نأسرى وناخدوا اموالهم واولادهم ونسائهم.
ومن رباط الخيل ترهبون
Maybe a couple of weeks before I traveled to France last time, there was some news. Some French converts had intended to commit some terrorist attacks on some Jewish temples and things like that. And they were French, original French, who had converted to Islam.
The gunman had timed his attack for the start of the school day. Jewish children and their parents were his unsuspecting targets. In the aftermath, the quiet streets near the Ozar HaTorah school filled with police and panicked relatives. The big question is whether this is linked to two other recent shooting incidents in the same region of France. On March the 11th, the gunman shot and killed a French West Indian soldier in Toulouse. 4 days later, two soldiers of North African origin were shot dead and a third was critically wounded at a cash machine in the town of Montauban. And now Monday's shooting in Toulouse. A gunman on a motorbike was involved in all three incidents.
So I felt very angry at that for many reasons, because first of all it's not right, and also I felt a little bit conscious. I told myself, should I consider cancelling my trip, because I didn't want to be in danger, and I didn't want to put my daughter in danger. What I'm doing right now is writing my experiences with some people who impacted me, who changed my view of the world, who changed my view of myself, who were very important to me. Like, after meeting them, I felt I have become a slightly better person, or even a much better person. Mostly it's, stereotypes are very easy. Stereotypes are just, they ask you to just follow what is told to you and not think a lot, and not use your own mind and your own heart when you deal with people. And I realized that sometimes when you go with stereotypes, yes, they're easy and comfortable, but you miss on a lot of people. You miss on a lot of feelings you get from dealing with people. Writing makes it official for me that I do not want to be following those stereotypes anymore.
See, the thing is that stereotypes are never a good thing. Yes, I agree. They're easy to handle, manage, comprehend, and they feed a huge amount of our daily conversations, along with occupying a large part of our thoughts. But I have seen them restricting my human interactions for too long, and I was left with experiences in which I sincerely regret having taken the shortcut of a generalization. I'm done with them, I say, while I strongly intend to try.
Lots of people, Jewish people, even some of them the religious kind, the one who wear the black outfit, and those that you would consider extremists, which I don't know, because I don't know enough about the Jewish faith, but what we were told are extremist Jewish who protest in different cities of the world, saying that they're not agreed with what's happening in Palestine, and they are not agreed with killing of Palestinians. What do you tell them then? That this is part of our faith and we have to kill you anyway?
رسالة لك يا كل يهودي في الأرض. جيش محمد سوف يعود. يا أحفاد القردة والخنازير يوم الانتقام جاي. يا ألعن خلق الله اللي هيبايعوا رسول الله على الموت مرة تانية جايين. استنونا وهتشوفوا يا ألعن خلق الله.
I don't understand how. I'm not maybe educated enough in the religion to assess whether, but it's not matching what I know of Islam. I mean, when our Prophet ﷺ was living with the Jewish people, and that Jewish person who used to throw garbage in front of his door every day, and then there was no more garbage
for some period of time there was no garbage. He went and visited that person. I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. And he said, I was worried about you because, are you sick? Because I don't see the garbage anymore. How on earth would killing of the Jewish people match that saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he went and visited the person and found out the person was sick?
There is a reason why he made us different. So let us benefit from each other instead of hitting each other on the head and telling you, I'm better than you, so become like me. No, I'm better than you, so become like me. These are your faults, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are my, you know, I'm good, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not how it is. It's not how it is. It's like, let's exchange, let's concentrate on the good things we have in common, even between the religions. When you look at it, and I haven't actually done the step to do it, but I've read people talking about this, and I've always very impressed. They had actually numbers. They compared, you know, religions. What we have in common is so much more than what we have as difference. So why can't we concentrate when we have 90% of our religions which are the same? Why do we have to concentrate on the 10% or which are different? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to waste our time? And when you are going to look at what's similar, not only between religions, even within Islam itself, there is, you know, as a human being, there's so much in common I have with all the other human beings on earth. Why do I have to concentrate on the difference? I don't appreciate when people look at me because I'm wearing this outfit and concentrate on that single difference. Everything else is the same. I have 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, I have 1 heart, I feel, I eat, I drink, all of these things are the same. So when people look at me with this and do not accept me because of this difference, I feel, why? You're wasting your time. You're stereotyping me. So then if I can feel this, why can't I do the same? Why can't I look through the appearance and say, okay, this person, for example, doesn't wear, she's a Muslim, she doesn't wear the Islamic scarf, which I think is important, and she doesn't seem to be thinking it's important. But why do I have to say, okay, there's no way I can be her friend, there's no way I can get close to her. I would have wasted, I would have lost from knowing who is the person. And that's not what I want to be doing. So why can't we concentrate on what we share rather than concentrate on what we are different in? I think it's very clear, it's very clear. I mean, if we look at these 3 pairs of shoes, it's describing 3 different persons, 3 different personalities, different backgrounds, different ways of living life. Yet, who said that we cannot be all 3 of us doing great things? Really, subhanAllah.